Hi everybody, it's Claire from Art Journal Love with another project for graphics. So you can find lots more inspiration at the Graphics Arts website, where you can find projects by lots of other artists too. So today I'm going to be playing with these supplies in this project for graphics. I'm using the Computer Inkjet Film, some Artist-Tac, and a set of the new Dura-Lar prints called Sassy, and I'm going to use the animal print sheet from that set. So here's a sneaky peek at the page we're going to create. I'm starting off using a sheet of the inkjet film, which I've printed this lovely colourful background on. So the great thing about this is not only can you print images from your computer or iPad onto this film, it has an adhesive backing on it, which means it's so easy to use, she says, making it look difficult to peel the backing off. That's not the product, that's my nails. They are quite long and they were getting ready to be done. So here I'm just laying my page from my little handmade journal straight onto there. I'm just using a brush to just kind of brush. There's lots of dust on there because my mat was a bit dusty. And then I'm just going to push those air bubbles out, but I'm really liking how easily that has applied. So here I'm pulling out the clear sheet of the animal print because you get a matte sheet as well. I'm cutting it to size and I'm going to use that as an overlay to go right over the top of my journal page, and that's going to work as the first layer of my background. So one of the great things about the Dura-Lar is that alcohol inks work really well on this substrate. And I've just grabbed some alcohol inks and I'm just going to pop some colours onto here that I'm hoping will just kind of enhance what's already coming through on that background. Just create a bit more depth of colour. So I'm choosing pinks and yellows, maybe a bit of blue I think I pop on there as well. Colours that are going to work nicely together and not going to create mud. Then this next product I'm going to use is an alcohol blending solution. So that's just going to help the alcohol inks to move around and just kind of water them down a little bit. So it takes a bit of intensity out of the colour. I do have one of those little handheld blowers that you can use, but I didn't know where it was, so I just kind of moved it and shimmied it around and let it do its own thing. It's made some really pretty colours, and then I'm just going to tip the excess off. So you can see that's kind of made like a funky purpley colour, but I really like how that has accentuated those colours that are underneath. So I was just dabbing off some of the excess bit at the bottom where it had collected, but look, it's really pretty. It's a great way to use the Dura-Lar. When you've got a coloured background underneath, you can just make those colours even richer. So then once I'd got the colours kind of where I wanted them to be, I'm just dropping a bit more of that blending solution on just to kind of create some more spaces in those colours and let more of the background colours come through. Okay, this is a mixative, I think it is. I think it's called Snowflake, that one. It's like a silvery white colour. I wanted to bring some kind of shimmery metallic elements into this next, so I'm just adding a few drops of that onto the page as well. And then again, I'm going in with the blending solution just to move that pigment around. And you can see it's picking up some of the colours as well. So we've got some interesting new colours happening there too. It dries quite quickly because of it being alcohol ink, so you don't have long to wait to dry. Although the Dura-Lar is heat proof, so you can use your heat tool on it and it won't alter the shape of the transparency at all. So next I wanted to have a go with some white ink. I think this is white ink, or is this the alcohol? No, this is the alcohol lifting ink. So I've grabbed a stamp and I wanted to just see if it would be effective stamping in and using that to lift some of the ink out and pop some text in, and it did work. It's difficult to see here on screen, but that did work. And then I went from using that one to using a white ink pad and added some white text over the top as well. So then I decided I wanted to find a few little elements to go with this cute Art by Marlene luxury paper element. It's one of the animals. I thought she was really cute. So I'm just looking for some things that I can add on there with that. And I think I left this bit in. So I end up pulling this piece off that I'm putting on now because I decided it was too much. It just goes to show that even when you think you've got it how you want it, you look at it and think, no, that doesn't work. It's not too late to take bits and bobs off that you've added on. It really doesn't matter. And go with your gut feeling. So if your gut's saying, you don't need that there. What's it doing? Take it off. So now I'm going in with a Stabilo oil pencil. This is a water-soluble black pencil, which I'm just using to add a bit of a shadow line around the little animal, just to help that pop out from the background a little bit. You can see that other element's still there. Here it goes. I'm like, don't want that there. I kind of felt like it wasn't really necessary, and I liked it because I liked the colours on it and I felt they worked, but now it's just getting lost on the background, and I think it ends up coming off altogether, as you will watch in a minute. So yes, this is a kind of point where I'm starting to think, what else do I need on my page? Generally, words are a thing that I will always add to my journal pages. That's my way of reflecting what's going on. And I have a little dish of quotes that I've stamped out from lots of different stamp sets, mostly Dina Wakley ones. I'm just going to pop this one on there using some Dina Wakley glue. So here it goes. Here's the element disappearing. This is where I'm like, I don't want this at all. Put it to one side. I'm going to let that dry and then I can reuse it on something else. Going in with some stickles on the crown just to give those a little bit of a shimmer. This is about the point where I start to think, is there enough contrast on my page? So I am adding some white dots. This is a tiny Posca pen. I'm adding lots of little white dots just in areas where the colours are quite dark, just to push those dark colours away a little bit. And as you know, I do love using dots on my journal pages. I have a dot stamp, which is one of my favourites. But there's something very therapeutic about drawing your own dots too. It's quite relaxing. So, but yeah, you can see how easy it was to pull this journal page together using the new Dura-Lar prints from Grafix over the top of the computer printing film. And there we go, that's the page finished. So don't forget, you can head to the Grafix website for more inspiration from lots of other great artists. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you again soon.